Shalom Akim. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of great Millstone who teach and rule well, and shalom to the sincere Akim's furnished truth and sincerity. Shalom. In this video, I want to talk about something that spoke about a little bit earlier this week with an older brother, and it's concerning sex with your wife, or if you're a female, sex with your husband. And it was going into the topic of withholding sex, from them. So I was going into an article, and also found scriptures to back up how we're not supposed to withhold the sex, from our loved one, and that we have to give them, to fulfill their needs, even though we don't feel like it, But in this day and age, this concept is being used in order to manipulate and to cause separation in order for the significant other, to so-called long more, for her partner or his partner. You see. So this is on Vice. It's a little bit of an old story, but it's still relevant concerning this video. So it says, does withholding sex make your partner want you more? There are many ways to withhold sex, ranging from sudden headaches that onset moments before sexual initiation, to emotional bribery, to controlled BDSM. We spoke with a millennial, a psychologist, and a mistress of male slaves to understand this. So I'm not going into the whole article, but I'm going to grab these things that are necessary for the video. And it says, the passive-aggressive practice of withholding sex is a classic technique employed in intimate relationships. The practice exists in myriad forms, ranging from sudden headaches that magically onset moments before sexual initiation, occurs to emotional bribery, in which men and women refuse to have sex in order to ensure their partner's commitment or submission. So the reason that people try to withhold that sex, is to reach a certain goal, to make sure that the other partner is committed, because they be like, why doesn't he or she want to have sex with me? Then in return, the person that is being withholden of the sex is going to try to make sure that the other person basically stays with them, because that instills a certain type of fear in the mind of the people that the sex is being withholden from. Then they be like, is he or she seeing someone else? That creates this competition type of fear, However, this phenomenon manifests withholding sex is a common trope, both in pop culture and the personal lives of countless Americans. So now I was going to give an example of Kylie Jenner and Harry Styles, and it says the most recent public example of this is the rumor that Kendall Jenner is withholding sex from her lover, One Direction diva Harry Styles, in an attempt to bend him to her will. According to some gossip sites, Jenner wants Styles to commit himself to her and abandon his other sex mates. This is a psychological meets physiological mind game, complete with rules, rewards, and punishments. An anonymous source told Life and Style that Kendall instituted a sex ban until Styles can prove he's 100% committed to her. This is a trial period. If he makes one misstep, he'll be dumped for good. So here we can see that it has a certain end goal in mind. People that try to withhold the sex from their significant other, you see, which is basically playing with their emotions, playing with their mind, It says James Gauss is a professor of psychology, at Roskilde University in Denmark. He specializes in sex and relationships, cross-sex friendships, and existential identity. Though he can cite any studies on the withholding of sex, Gauss affirms that it is common in Western culture. There is evidence that this was something that has an ancient ancestry, he told broadly. In one of Aristophanes' plays, the women refused to have sex with the men until they stopped fighting, which is also some kind of bribery. Also in the Kama Sutra, this behavior is suggested as a way of keeping the partner's interest. You see? Gauss says that the common thread between these two ancient examples is the intent to coerce a partner into performing or not performing a certain behavior. You see, so this is something that, in 2021 is being used, to have people act a certain way. So if you're married, you have a man, if you have a wife, the Bible talks about how we are supposed to treat one another concerning this topic, concerning, sex. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and 1. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. So this is something that Apostle Paul said. He said it's good for a man not to deal with a female on the level of sexual activity. And the reason he suggested that is because, if you don't have a woman in your life, then you can focus your mind, body, and soul to the cause for the Heavenly Father. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 32. But I would have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried careth for the things that belong unto the Lord, or he may please the Lord. You see, so you're going to focus on the things that please the Heavenly Father, which is, doing His will. Going to the highways and byways, make videos, study, study to show thyself approved. Verse 33, but he that is married careth for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife. You see, so if you as a man, you're going to deal with a female, you're also going to have, her in a certain way in your mind. Like, you want to treat her good, you want to invest some time in her. You see? This is 1 Corinthians 7 and 2. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. You see, so to prevent adultery to take place, every man and every woman need to have their own partner. You see. Verse 3, that the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. You see, so that due benevolence goes into goodwill. So you as a husband or a wife, you need to show goodwill towards your significant other concerning sex. You see, and there might be days that you don't feel like it. Well, too bad for you. You still need to give him the desires that he lusts for. And likewise for the husband, you also need to give her whatever she desires. You see. Verse 4, the wife hath not power of her own body, but the husband, and likewise also the husband hath not power of his body, but the wife. You see, so your body as a husband belongs to your wife, and the body of the wife belongs to the husband. You see, and if they have need to have sexual intercourse, then that's something that has to be required. You see, verse 5, defraud ye not one the other, except to be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. You see, so the only reason for you as a couple not to engage in sexual intercourse, for a little time, is if you have an agreement, to separate yourselves, to dedicate to fasting and prayer, and to be very spiritual. Of course, sometimes you might also have a discussion. You agree to basically go your separate ways for a week or 2 weeks, and after that to come together, talk it out, and then just be good again. You see, so that basically you don't give how you say that, you don't give occasion to the devil to basically tempt you to go to get abroad. Yeah, man. So in 2021, all these tactics are being used, which, hey, this shows you, man, that this current kingdom is really under the rulership of the devil, man. Because they don't regard the words of the Heavenly Father. They create a society in such a way, they teach the people in such a way, that even the way that we are supposed to treat our partners in the bedroom, is being influenced by these devils, man. So with that, I hope that this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. The honors to the elder apostles of great Millstone, who teach and rule well, and shalom to the sincere Archiams, furnish truth and sincerity. Shalom.